Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio, spotlighting the city's best businesses and the people who lead them.
Lee Cantor here with Stone Payton, another episode of GSU ENI Radio, live from downtown Atlanta, Georgia at Georgia State University. Stone, this is going to be a fun one.
Hey, this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get a chance to visit with the CEO and the CFO of Famous Joint Content Cafe. Please join me in welcoming to the show Hawk Yusuf and Hashim Addow.
Hey, this is Hawk here. Thank you guys at Business Radio X for having us. It's an honor this morning.
Well, Hawk, why don't you share with us what you're doing at Famous Joint?
I'd love to. What we're doing, Hashim and I, we're opening a healthy and affordable, internationally inspired cafe where we choose the most famous foods from different countries worldwide, and we just highlight them. For example, India is known for its chai, so we'll have something from India. Give me a country.
China.
Noodles.
Vietnam.
Bubble tea.
There you go.
So we're essentially just choosing the most famous foods.
So the signature dish of every country you're going to have at your place.
We'll try to have it on a rotating basis, and by popular demand, we'll keep it.
So this is a restaurant. Is it up and running?
Right now, we're not quite fully operational.
But you're on your way to getting funding to make it fully operational?
We're on our way.
And that's why you're part of the Main Street Fund?
Yes. Well, that's not the reason why we're part of the Main Street Fund. But
how'd you get into that, the Main Street Entrepreneurs Seed Fund?
Well, one of my close mentors and being part of the organization launched GSU, and George Greenwich, he encouraged me to apply.
Mm-hmm. But it was to build this restaurant.
Absolutely.
And then, so you had this idea for a restaurant, and either of you in the restaurant business before? You have any family members in the restaurant business? You eat at restaurants?
Yes. Well, I can say that we eat at restaurants for sure.
So how did it come about? I mean, having an idea for a restaurant and then running a restaurant, opening a restaurant is two different things.
Well, my mother had a restaurant before, so...
Okay, so you know what it's like to have a restaurant.
Yeah, but yep.
So now is she part of the team?
Actually, she is. It used to be a grocery store. So the story is, very simple. It used to be a grocery store, and it was her grocery store. But in the back room of it, there was a small room, and in that room is where I discovered that. The power of having your own space to work out of instead of working for someone else. So I would say because of my mother's entrepreneurial spirit, the seed of entrepreneurship was planted then. When she was moving from the location to another location, the opportunity presented itself for, me to take over the lease, and that's what gave us our kickstart.
Oh, so you actually have a spot.
Yeah, we have a physical location.
And where is it at?
Right across the street from the Clarkston Public Library.
So it's in Clarkston?
Yes, sir.
So that has a big refugee community, a lot of international folks.
It's recognized by the United Nations as a designated area to support people who've lost their homes and refugees.
So now the restaurant's going to serve those people by having their favorite foods there on a rotating basis.
Well, absolutely, and we plan to find the talented chefs that come from different countries. And
you're going to rotate them, and so they can make their signature dishes?
Yeah, we'll try and catch some. And Hashim has a beautiful connection with a lot of different countries, and let him tell you a little bit about some of the people he works with. Yeah.
Well, working with Hawk in the past has working in the past with the refugees in Clarkston has been my passion. Working with them as far as tutoring, hanging out, playing ball, stuff as simple as just, taking a walk in the park, getting to know them and getting a feel for, their story and how they came about and ended up in this new world and bringing them change towards this community of Clarkston and trying to find their talent and their skills was a great passion of mine. It still is.
So now when you're kind of interacting with them, now you're giving them an opportunity to do what they either love to do or have talent to do, is by giving the opportunity to share the meals and the foods from their background.
Exactly. Not only meals of food, also discover their skills and have them prosper through what they love doing.
So now what's your take on the community in Clarkston? How do they feel about being in America and being in Clarkston? Are they optimistic, pessimistic? Are they afraid? How do you see them?
I would certainly say it's home to a lot of people, and the town has done a lot to support refugees from the early 90s all the way up until now. Down the street, the DeKalb Farmers Market is an example of how everyone comes together and has, fresh, healthy, organic foods, and people from all over Atlanta, from Sandy Springs to Marietta, all the way from College Park, they all come to the DeKalb Farmers Market.
Sure.
So, and I'd like to mention, our parents were both first generation Americans. So it's a really special place where, it's a really special place where people that are first generations like ourselves can kind of connect with some of the people, because what happens is a silo effect where the people from one community stick with their people. So you'll see the people from the Burmese community sticking with exclusively that type, the Congolese community, the Syrian community. So if we figured if we can bring signature dishes, food is something that it unites people, and it's literally breaking bread. So if we bring them in an environment where they can have some of their famous foods and even recruit some of their parents and family members, it
becomes a place where they all can congregate and get to know each other.
Absolutely. And one of our core values is documentation. So we have a camera on site, and we take pictures of people and sort of like a studio effect, and let them leave with pictures and things like that.
So now, when you had this idea initially, how did you kind of take it from just this concept into, okay, now I'm taking steps, this is becoming real now?
Yes. So we started off back in 2015, 2016, 2017, so using the back room of the grocery store.
Right.
And
so was it just you two at first? Like you both had the idea of, hey, I wish there was something like this that existed. Like how did it come from just you guys thinking about it to it actually now somebody's making a meal?
Yeah. So that is a very, very interesting question. It all started off back in 2016 where we were helping people, helping nonprofit organizations, having them record their messages. We had one nonprofit organization that we recorded for that broadcasted on 5 different radio channels. And with those 5 radio channels, they were in different languages. And so we really were passionate about doing community events, helping nonprofit organizations, and, just having a helping hand out there for the people that are in the community of Clarkston that really need the help. So doing so, we decided to add in the food factor, which was now everybody can eat, and we can also still go
do
out,
do
the other part, which was record and broadcast people's messages and giving them the medium of understanding using audio or visual, because you will see some beautiful people in Clarkston, beautiful talents, unrecognized trades.
Right. So this is giving them a platform for them to tell their story and to show their talents in addition to breaking bread.
Exactly. Using food and content.
To add on to that, we started off, I guess in summary, we were producing for small nonprofit organizations and small businesses, but mostly, it would be somebody from the community saying, hey, we need a camera, we need to record this or we need to record that. And it was very difficult to charge for that. but there was a demand for it and there was a need for it. So what we decided to do in those times, we were, started off at Starbucks and, just going to Starbucks, going to, using the office, meeting clients there. And then after that, we graduated into getting an office by, getting small businesses, making, WordPress websites and doing things like that, just supporting small businesses with tech. And then from there, it became like what we're going to eat or, how can we, every day we're eating. So now we needed to, kind of put everything together. So I guess in a way that it's a co-working space, I don't want to just all the way go into the restaurant, direction. Mm-hmm. I kind of want it to be a place where people can come and, kind of materialize their projects and things like that. So when we mention talent and undiscovered, there's people who, are very skilled in agriculture, very skilled in things that they used to do back home, but they don't have the credentials here because it's from a war-torn country. So sometimes you'll have doctors that, are full doctors, have been practicing medicine for 20 years, but because their country is war-torn, they don't have the credentials. So, there's a lot of, that's what he means by they're having hidden talents in Clarkston. It's just when somebody's ripped from their home and placed in a new land, seeing them adjust is really great. So being able to document that experience for some refugees by taking pictures of them, helping them do their resumes, doing headshots for their LinkedIn, trying to get them a job that's better than the chicken factory. These chicken factories, they come by and they put big posters of, work at a chicken factory. And it's kind of interesting when there's big vans that come up to these neighborhoods at 6 a.m. and pick them up and then take them to work and drop them back. So it's, a lot of these people, they just need money and they're honest workers. And seeing that, I don't want to directly address that, but I just wanted to make it known that there's other options out there for them to get better jobs. A lot of them don't know English. And recently, Hashim and I have been dealing with the Atlanta Institute of Language. And we are trying to get some of these people who have dialects in Burmese and different languages and have them collaborate with the Atlanta Institute of Language, and help them become our interpreters.
Right, they can be translators or interpreters.
Yeah, so it's they're located in Buckhead, right across the street from Lenox Mall. So that was one of our most recent partnerships with the Atlanta Institute of Language. So
now, did both of you or either of you go to GSU? I
went to GSU, and so did he.
So then, how did you get, or are you involved in the entrepreneurship program here, or?
Before, when I was going here, there was no entrepreneurial programs going on. And my first at the, Georgia State, I would say, undoubtedly, hands down, I would not be in the position that I am in today without being able, without being exposed to some of the things that the school has exposed me to as far as just being in Atlanta. If I went to a different school, that is more of a college town, it might not have given me the same results, but being in Atlanta and seeing, suits and, street performers or different things all in the same mix, it was very, very beautiful for my network, and I will forever thank Atlanta for that. My first startup idea was here. My second startup idea was here, and this is the first time that I felt like, I got the support of the school.
So you had an ecosystem that can support you and help you make this dream come true.
Now, before it was kind of like rough. It was a little, no, there was always beautiful stars that are here, like, Muhammad Awad, and, he's a former student here of computer science, really inspired me. There was Elizabeth Strickler. She's a superstar in this, ecosystem. We have MK. He was our, entrepreneur in residence. He helped us out a lot, trying to get us, he was our mentor for the Main Street Entrepreneurship Seed Fund. So George Greenwich, Erica, Miss Erica. There was a lot of people from Launch GSU. Now Georgia State has a whole building.
Right.
Yeah.
Things have changed, huh?
Yeah. 24-hour access for entrepreneurs with computers and all sorts of stuff. So
what's next for the Famous Joint Content Cafe? What do you need more of right now?
Right now we need more of we just need a be patient. That's what we need.
But, being an entrepreneur, it's always like you want things done fast. Like you don't have, right? It's hard to be patient because you want the result and you want to serve the people and help all these folks. And you can't do it unless you're up and running, right?
Absolutely. But, in addition to that, I've realized, sometimes being an entrepreneur, you have to take your time and you have to grow it, because I've seen other people that just try to rush into business and they don't exactly, have their everything, of why they're doing it down pat. And on our Instagram page, if you visit A Famous Joint on our Instagram page, you'll be able to see our very story from the beginning, like from cracking the tiles, painting the walls. Like this place, we've been building it from our hands with no experience, like doing any sort of construction, but painting, things like that.
Right.
But we've built this place up, and seeing it grow, it's sort of like a baby. Like God made babies take 9 months to come out of the stomach.
Exactly.
I don't know why people rush anything. God can make a tree grow in an instant, but it takes time. Everything takes time. So it was very special to see this process. And I'm really more in love with the journey than the end result at this moment. Because when the end result happens, it'll be on to the next one. It'll be on to the next project.
Another journey. So now you've gone through this seed fund. You got some money from them, right?
We haven't received any money
yet.
Oh,
not yet.
No, but we're not.
You're being
bashing.
patient.
Yeah, we're being patient. And there were some things, being an entrepreneur is hard, and sometimes we didn't have enough money to pay the annual registration for our business. Irresponsible, but it slipped, and that's why we had to readjust things. And
but that's part of the process. It's all part of the learning curve. But do you have in your head some date you're shooting for as the launch of the restaurant or the space?
I would say we were gonna definitely launch in the first quarter of 2020.
Okay, so you're moving towards that goal.
Moving every single day.
Every day, inch by inch.
You know what they say, right? You heard about the turtle in the hare.
That's it. You only lose if you quit, So now, if somebody wanted to learn more, is there a website? You mentioned Instagram page. Is there a website?
Yeah, we have a website. It's called afamousjoint.com. That's the domain name. It was very expensive. I can't disclose exactly how much we paid for that.
That's where a lot of the funds have gone.
Oh, we haven't received any funds yet. So.
But you can give a donation at the website down below when you scroll down. Sign up, like the Instagram, love all the pictures,
right,
and show support.
Good stuff. Well,
but I can say I check in the mail. I check the mail
every day, multiple times a day.
Multiple times a day. So I kind of wish it was direct deposit, but checking the mail, I'm looking at it. I'm like, sometimes I think in my head, because we have this different sort of mailbox where the landlord has to sort it out. I'm just looking. I'm like, hey man, should I call him?
And especially nowadays with the holidays, it takes even longer. So now that's afamousjoint.com is the website, and then you're available on all social media channels, right?
We're available on Instagram. We're available on Facebook. We're available on Twitter. We're also available.
A Famous Joint. Just start looking for A Famous Joint.
We are also available on LinkedIn. We plan on using LinkedIn the most.
Okay. Good stuff. Well, thank you both for sharing your story today. Congratulations and best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. Again. This is Lee Cantor for Stone Payton. We will see you all next time on GSU ENI Radio.